Hey guys, it's FJ's Game underscore YT here, and today we're gonna be making a new video, which is gonna be me reacting to my round of 16 World Cup predictions that I made last video, and then me making a new quarterfinal predictions for the second part of the video. So the first half is just gonna be me reacting to my round of 16 final World Cup predictions. I'm not gonna show quarterfinal to final World Cup predictions in this video because they're all never gonna happen because some of my predictions were wrong. So my hypothetical quarterfinal is not gonna happen. As you see in this video, it might show something different. Like the quarterfinals in this video is gonna look a lot different to what it actually is. So yeah. So the first part is gonna be me reacting to my round of 16 predictions and just what I think about my predictions. And then the second half is going to be me doing my new quarterfinal predictions. And I won't just rush. I won't just rush semifinal and final. I'm gonna do my quarterfinal predictions. Wait until all the games are done. Come back to my quarterfinal prediction video and then make a semifinal prediction. And then we're gonna do that and then make a final. That's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be. So yeah. Hey guys, this is Here's Gamer underscore YT, and today we're going to be making another video, and this video is going to be about World Cup predictions from the round of 16, quarterfinal, semifinal, and final. Originally, I wanted to make a video for World Cup predictions from the group stage all the way to the finals, but yeah. So, we're going to start off with the first prediction. Paraguay versus France. I think this is pretty simple. I think France is gonna beat Paraguay. Talk about Paraguay though. They beat Germany on penalties. Incredible. And there's like this stat that came out when they beat them that Germany hasn't. I'm pretty sure they never lost a World Cup on penalties. Or was that Netherlands? I don't know. It was. By the way, I was right about that stat. I just searched it up a few minutes ago, and I found out that yes, this World Cup was their first World Cup that they lost on pens. So yeah, that's crazy. The fact that Paraguay beat Germany, it's still crazy, bro. It's still crazy. But they never lost a World Cup on penalties, so that's an insane stat. But yeah, Paraguay beating Germany. Like Germany were one of my favorites to win the whole thing. And it's crazy that they lost the one of my favorites to win. So yeah, but I think Paraguay's road stops here because I think France is too good of a team, quality wise, on paper wise, performance wise. I think France is. I think. Yeah, about that game. To be real, I watched a bit of it. I didn't watch all of it because I'm pretty sure I was doing something that day. But yeah, I watched a bit of the game towards the end, and I'm not gonna lie, it was just boring. The game in general, from what I heard from others, from in my opinion, from my view, it was boring. It was a boring game. I saw the pen. It was a good taking pen, calm, collected, taking pen from Mbappe. Let's be real, it was a boring game. All Paraguay tried to do was just foul the crap out of all the French players. Like, let's be real, it was a boring game. So there's not really much to say about this game other than it was boring. France did what they needed to do. France is just better than Paraguay, so I think France is gonna go through. Unfortunately, I didn't watch this game. I wanted to watch this game. Canada versus Morocco. Morocco beat them 3-0. I just found that out, like right now, or a few minutes before I started the video. I found out that they beat them. So, yeah, I'm kind of pissed at myself that I didn't get to watch this game. Yeah, I was actually kind of mad that I didn't get to watch this game because at the time I was making this video, I just woke up. So that's the context on why I didn't watch this game, because I was asleep while the game was going on. I was asleep, and by the time I woke up, the game was done and Morocco won 3-0. So I didn't get the chance to watch them. And when I was making this video, that's when I just like woke up and everything. So yeah, I basically just found out minutes ago. Like minutes before I started the video, I found out I missed the game. So I was a bit mad at myself, but you know, I kind of like gotten over it. I've kind of gotten over it, but so I wanted to watch it. But yeah, I already knew Morocco was gonna win anyways. I was saying before the game that Morocco was gonna win, since I knew Morocco's team. Morocco, in my opinion, they have that experience in going far in a World Cup because they did it last World Cup, and I just knew Morocco's better than Canada. Even though both teams been good, both teams been good. That's why I wanted to watch them. I knew this match would be a good match. But yeah, Morocco beat them. So it looks like for the first quarterfinals, I predict it's gonna be France versus Morocco. We'll predict that later on. Portugal versus Spain. This is the big one. This is the big one. My head is saying Spain because Spain's team. You can argue Spain's team quality. You can argue Portugal's team quality wise is better than Spain because of their midfield. Portugal's midfield is arguably the best in the tournament. I think it's the best. But yeah, both of their defenses are pretty good. I would say Spain's is better though. And then their attack, I think Spain's attack is better too. I think Spain's attack is better as well. My head is saying Spain because I think Spain's a better. I still stand on that point that on paper Portugal's midfield is the best, or arguably the best. Maybe I was going a bit too bold by saying the best because Spain's midfield also is really good too. But Portugal's honestly is incredible. Vitinha, João Neves, Bruno Fernandes, bro, those three were very disappointing in particular. Like their midfield was not good at all during this tournament. But yeah, bro, I still stand on it. And yeah, what I was saying in this video was true. My heart was saying Portugal because I wanted Portugal to go far. Portugal were one of the teams that I wanted to win the World Cup. I didn't think they'll win it, but I wanted them to win because of Ronaldo, of course. Brazil was also one of those teams too, but we'll talk about them a bit later in the video. But yeah, my heart was saying Portugal, but my head was saying Spain. Realistically, I knew Spain was gonna win, but my heart was saying Portugal, and that's why I pick who I pick. But their team is always who I pick. And logically, I would pick Spain on another day though, because this time, I'm gonna go with the prediction that nobody's probably gonna go for. I'm going for a Portugal win. Because one of the teams that I want. Yeah, I picked Portugal. Bro. I picked my heart, then my head, and I was, I guess now seeing that Portugal lost and everything against Spain, Ronaldo's last World Cup, maybe I was a bit too naive to just overly pick Portugal just ahead of Spain. But I don't know, bro. The heart speaks sometimes, bro. You have to listen to the heart sometimes, bro. Sometimes, not all the time. And my heart was saying Portugal, so I wanted Portugal to go through. I didn't think in my head that they'll win the World Cup. As much as I would like it for Ronaldo to win, I didn't think they were going to win. But I thought they would at least make it a quarterfinal, semifinal. I didn't think they were gonna lose. They're reversing Spain though, so I don't know. They're reversing Spain, so actually, it's not that surprising that they're knocked out. They lost to a better team. Let's be real. I'll talk about the game. This game was also boring too. And this one was particularly crazy because this one was hyped up. This one was hyped up to be the best game, but it was the most boring game. It was arguably the most boring in the World Cup. Literally not much happened. Marino did score. I saw that goal. Brilliant assist from Ferran. The control, the pass was brilliant. Moreno calmly slots it. Ronaldo's last World Cup, it was sad. I was honestly hurting for him. Not as much as Neymar though, because I actually really wanted Brazil and Neymar to make it far and possibly go all the way. But still, I was hurting for Ronaldo too. I felt bad for Ronaldo as well, man. I felt bad for him as well. Especially for all the things that he had to go through these past 5 years. Honestly, I feel bad for him. But it is what it is, bro. Spain got through. But yeah. That I want to win the World Cup is Portugal. If it's not Neymar in Brazil, bro, it's Ronaldo in Portugal, bro. Messi already won his World Cup in 2022. All we need now is a Brazil Neymar win or a Ronaldo Portugal win, and I'll be sleeping peacefully, bro.
I'm telling you.
We don't talk about Portugal.
So I'm gonna go with the bold prediction that Portugal is gonna go through. I won't be surprised if Spain beat Portugal. I won't because they're the better team.
Yep. And what happened? Spain won.
Even though both teams haven't been convincing, logically everybody would go for Spain.
Yeah, because their quality.
Both teams haven't been convincing. Portugal.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah. Everybody logically would go for Spain because Spain, quality-wise, has the better team. They're the more all-around. They have the better defense. They arguably have the better midfield, and they have the better attack. So, yeah, everybody would go for Spain. Spain is a better all-round team than Portugal. Even quality-wise, they're better than Portugal. The only part of the team or the only part of the squad that you can debate is that Portugal has better than Spain's in the midfield. And even if Portugal's midfield is better than Spain, it's not by a long shot. It's not by a long distance because Spain's midfield, in my opinion, is the second best in the tournament. So, second or first, arguably, either. But yeah,
been convincing, and Spain haven't been convincing either. But from what I watched from both teams this tournament, and specifically last round in the round of 16, because that's when I started watching. Because obviously, the difficulties with my phone, everything. Started watching the World Cup round of 16.
Started watching the World Cup.
I missed the incredible group stage.
And I don't watch.
I was following the group stage, so I know what happened.
I wanted to watch it from the start, but I couldn't.
But seeing how Spain played against Austria and seeing how Portugal played against Croatia, logically I should pick Spain because Spain dominated this game against Austria. Austria had no chance.
I watched the whole game.
Portugal versus Croatia. You can argue that Croatia was the better team and deserved the win, but Portugal went through still nevertheless. So we're talking about Portugal versus Spain.
We already know my prediction.
And then obviously the controversial goal that Croatia scored. But to be fair, that goal there would have never been any controversial goal too. Let me talk. It was touched by that. Just can detect technology. You can't really argue. This one's a little bit more easier. I think U.S. is going to go through. USA versus Belgium. This one might be another bold prediction. I don't think this one's as crazy to us, the Portugal versus Spain, because I think this one's a little bit more easier. I think U.S. is going to go through.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm supporting U.S. to win the World Cup. They're one of the teams. They're one of the teams that want to win the World Cup.
This is what I'm saying, bro. Other than the France prediction, I got every other one wrong, which I hate. USA versus Belgium. What can I say? I thought USA was gonna be better. I'm not gonna lie. I thought USA was gonna be better. But let's just hear what I say. My thoughts.
They're one of the teams that want to win the World Cup. It's my country, of course. So I'm hoping I want USA to make a deep run, but we'll see what happens later in the video when I make that prediction. But still, I think USA is going to beat Belgium. I think USA has been the far more convincing team in the tournament. I think the USA has been one of the best teams in the tournament. They've been really good. I think they've been better than Belgium. Belgium hasn't been convincing. You saw that last round, dramatic round, where they beat Senegal.
Yeah, and I still stand by that fact. I hear people say that USA's tournament has been disappointing. I absolutely disagree with that. For the most part, they've been good. Group stages, they've been good, other than the game against Turkey. But let's be real, they weren't starting most of their team, and they already knew that they were through. Let's be real about it. They respected Turkey. Like, they gave Turkey sympathy, bro. Like, they felt sympathy for Turkey. That's why they let them win. USA let them win that game, bro. Let's be real. USA were brilliant in the group, so we're not gonna just because of one game where they got destroyed by a European team. And let's be real, USA played very, very poor. Just because they played a very poor game, let that not blindside us from the tournament that they had. They had a really good tournament. At the end of the day, I expected them to go far. I kind of expected them to beat Belgium, and I did expect them to go a bit farther. But, for what it's worth, it hasn't been a bad tournament. Do not let this game. This is the only bad game that they had in the tournament, in my opinion. Do not let this game blindside us from the tournament that they had. They had a great tournament. They just had an off day. And I also think as well, Trump and and like FIFA as well. I think them letting Balogun still play even after the controversial red card that he got in the last game, I think that put a lot of unnecessary pressure on the USA when they didn't need it at that time. I think that really affected the USA, and it made them think that like we have to turn up. To be fair, they didn't turn up, but like still though, I feel like that put a lot of unnecessary pressure on the players, and I feel like that was unfair pressure. So I feel like we should have kept we should have kept Balogun. Balogun should have never played. That's the key thing, bro. Balogun should have never played. And I think this is karma. I think us losing to Belgium 4-1. I think this is karma for us allowing Balogun to play, even though he should have never played. He should have never played. You can say whatever you want about the red card. And I looked and I saw the challenge. It wasn't a red card. It wasn't a red card. It's the inconsistencies with the ref, because this type of thing has happened so many times in this World Cup in particular, and no red card was given. But when the US does it and Balogun does it, it's a red card. It's the inconsistency, bro. It's the inconsistency with these refs. These refs are not great. They're not. They're not good. But like, I don't know. I just feel like it put a lot of unnecessary pressure, and I feel like this, like, it makes FIFA look bad. It makes Trump look bad. Like it makes everybody look bad here. It does. It does make everybody look bad. I don't know. It was just a really bad day for the U.S. I'm not gonna lie. It was just a bad day for the U.S.
3-2. Senegal choked the game. They sold it. They let Belgium win in the last second. Senegal can't blame anybody but themselves. Like that game.
I'm not trying to make this part of the video too long, because I also have
had it in the bag, but then
too,
you sold the bag. So I don't know what to say, bro. I don't know what to say.
And I would love to get this video out before the first quarterfinal game, which is in
it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
So, yeah.
I would have loved to see an African team go through, but it's okay. I think the US knows going to win. I think they're going to win.
Oh, this game.
Brazil versus Norway. I plan on watching all these games. All these games are going to be good games. Brazil versus Norway. I think this could go either way. Could they?
So I was actually on to something a little bit. Okay.
Brazil's been pretty good, and Norway's been pretty good as well. So it can go either way. Plus, you have Holland, who's been banging goals for Norway, and then you got Vinny, who's been doing his thing for Brazil. But I think it'll be Brazil. I think quality-wise, I think on paper, I think they're just way more. I think they're just superior when it comes to Norway. I think Norway has a good team, but I think Brazil is better, slightly. And probably performance-wise, I think I might go Brazil. Even though they drew their first game against Morocco, but still, I think Brazil will go for it. Still though, call me crazy, but I won't be surprised if Norway goes through. But
what did I say, bro? Norway literally went through against Brazil. What is my luck, bro? What is my luck? Because I just want my GOAT Neymar to make it far in a World Cup, and I can't have that happen, bro. I just can't, bro. It is what it is, bro. But yeah, bro. I'm definitely not hurting from this. Yeah, I'm definitely hurting. I don't care. That was one of the worst days of my life. Like, bro, when Brazil got knocked out by Norway, I was hurting. So, like, I was so mad at the team. I was so mad at Brazil. But I was also so upset at the same time. You don't understand, bro. You don't understand. I was so upset for Neymar. I was hurting bad. But I was also really mad at the team, because these players, specifically this game, when Neymar got subbed on, I didn't see any effort. No effort whatsoever. And it's very telling when a 34-year-old Neymar in his last World Cup is doing more than all these other 20-year-old players, bro. That should be fighting for this guy. They should be fighting for this guy. Neymar has done so much for this country. He's done so much for Brazil. At least, I should be seeing more effort, bro. I should. And for all this talk, like these Brazilian players, I'm pretty sure Esteval said before the World Cup in an interview, he said, or a press conference, he said, we're gonna fight for Neymar. I didn't see any fight. I didn't see anything. I didn't see any fight, bro. I just saw players who didn't want to put effort, who didn't want to press, wanted to do their own thing. That's what I saw. I didn't see any fighting for Neymar. So I don't know. I'm disappointed in this Brazilian team. I'm disappointed because I thought, you know, I thought we'd be better. I thought they would do a bit better, you know. And Norway is a good national. Norway is a good team. Norway is a good national team. They're a good national team. They're having a good tournament. But Norway is not unbeatable. You can beat Norway, bro. Come on, you can beat Norway, bro. We can beat Norway. I think the fact that Vinny didn't take the penalty in the first penalty, like the one throughout the game, like the first, like I think 20, 30 minutes throughout the game, they got a penalty. The fact that Vinny didn't take it, and instead he let Bruno Guimaraes take it because his penalty conversion is more, he has a higher penalty conversion than Vinny. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolute BS how he gave that penalty to Bruno Guimaraes. Like, apparently it's about data. Carlo Ancelotti with this data crap and saying, oh, it should be Bruno because he has better penalty conversion. He scores more penalties. He scored more penalties in training or whatever. I don't care. This is my opinion. I don't care that he scored more penalties in training. I don't care that he scored more penalties in his career. I don't care. I don't care if Vinny has missed more penalties than him in his career. I don't care. Vinny is the star player of this team. Vinny is the player that's supposed to drag this team to a World Cup, or drag them far to a World Cup. Well, not really drag them, but he's supposed to be that. He's supposed to be that guy. He's supposed to be the main player. He's supposed to be the main guy, and he has been the main guy for the entire World Cup. And you're telling me that one of the best players of this World Cup can't take a penalty because he has a worse penalty conversion because he didn't score in training? I don't care. No offense to the team, to the coach, to the staff. I don't care what happens in training. I don't give a crap about what happens in training. I don't know what's happening in training. I don't care what's happening in training. I don't care that Vinny has scored less penalties. I don't care if he's missed more penalties than Bruno Guimaraes. I don't care. You being the star of the team, you being the leader, basically. You might not be wearing the captain's armband, but you're still a leader to me. You're still a star player to me. You're the one who's been contributing with all these goals and assists. You're the one of the best players in the World Cup. And the fact that you can't take a penalty and the fact that you gave it to Bruno Guimaraes, I don't know. I think it's weird. Because if Vinny took that penalty, maybe we'd be in a different timeline right now. Like, maybe it would be different if Vinny took the penalty, but we never know. Like, and I also think the fact that Neymar didn't start from the first minute onwards, bro. I think the fact that he didn't start for the first minute onwards is honestly so disappointing, because you saw how much energy and how much effort and how much passion he brought once he came on. And I would have loved for Neymar to came on. I would have loved for him to start. Because that's what Brazil was missing. That was probably the main thing. Other than Brazil missing all their chances, they fluffed all their chances. They had so many chances to go through. That's why I blame Brazil. I don't blame the rest. I don't blame the pitch. I don't blame anybody. I blame Brazil as a whole. Because you guys had the chance. You guys had all the chances in the world. But you let Norway capitalize off their chances later in the game, and you just don't go through. But other than the chances, the other problem that Brazil had is that these guys do not put effort. These guys do not press. These guys do not press for their lives, bro. Why? Again, I'm gonna mention this again. Why do I see Neymar come on in the 70 minute and in 15 minutes? Why do I see him give more than the entire Brazilian team the entire game? Why do I see Neymar press more than Vinny, than Bruno, than Casemiro, than Marquinhos, than even, like, bro? Why do I see Neymar press more than the entire team combined? Why? That's not normal. You don't, like, why is Neymar the only one putting effort in his team, bro? And it's just the epitome, bro. It's just the epitome of Neymar in this Brazilian national team for the past 16 years. Neymar's the only one putting effort. He's the only one carrying this Brazilian torch, and nobody is aiding him. Nobody is helping him. And that's just a story, bro. That's just a story of Neymar in Brazil these last 16 years. And, you know? And that's why Neymar, that's at the end of the day, that's why Neymar retired from the Brazilian national team. Because Neymar said that he tried, and he's absolutely correct. Neymar tried these past 16 years, but he couldn't. He couldn't get them out of the water. He couldn't get them to a World Cup because because you know what he had to deal with. He had to deal with, no offense to those players, but he had to deal with below the bar players, bro. He had to for the past 16 years, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because those players did not give enough for Neymar. They didn't. You can't convince me that they did. Not this generation, not the last generation, not in the last 16 years. Not for me, bro. And I think the way that they went out to this, I think the way that they went out is disappointing. I think they did. If they just took their chances and just pressed and put more effort into winning, it was like Brazil didn't want to win. It was legit like they didn't want to win. It was like Norway wanted this more than Brazil, and they showed it out on the pitch. Norway wanted this far more than Brazil. They wanted this far more than Brazil, bro. That's why towards the end they were the better team because they wanted it more. And that's why throughout the game they were the better team because they wanted it more than Brazil, and it was just disappointing. This is disappointing.
I think Brazil will go through. I think they have enough quality to do so. But yeah, I think they will go through. May Dancing come back and get Japan in round 3 too, but I think they're gonna go through again. This is another one which is gonna. This might be another bold prediction.
Yo, these quarterfinal predictions are gonna be quick though, because I just
this
spent
might be
basically
another bold
30
prediction,
minutes
but
reacting to this video, bro. Like, that's crazy. But
yeah, Mexico versus England is gonna be another bold prediction, but I think it will be Mexico that will go through.
I thought it would be Mexico. To be fair, I was very close. Honestly, that Mexico versus England game, what a game that was, bro. Jude Bellingham scoring twice, Kane scoring his pen, Mexico almost making it through. I actually thought at the end that they were going to make it. They were going to tie the game. I thought they were going to make because they were making some chances. They were making some things happen. But yeah, that game was incredible. One of the best games of the World Cup, in my opinion. One of the best games of the World Cup. There's a lot of all-timer games in this World Cup. And that's why this World Cup is an all-timer. That's why this World Cup, in my opinion, is the best World Cup that we've seen. Because there's just so many all-timer games. There's so many goalkeeper performances. Just all the stars are performing. All the comebacks. Just everything, man. It's a beautiful World Cup. But I thought, I was the naive one. I thought Mexico was going to go through. Because, dark horses, all that. But England went through. Their quality, Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, they're both incredible, bro. Like, those two have the clutch factor, specifically Jude. But, I don't know. They both have it. Whenever it's on the line, they always come up and clutch, bro. Anyways, let's talk about let's go to the Argentina versus Egypt game.
Egypt had a good run, could get them through, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but I think it would be Mexico. Argentina versus Egypt, Egypt had a good run, but I think it's going to be Argentina, let's be real. It's going to be Argentina. Messi's going to carry out his insane form.
This game, which happened yesterday. What a game. What a game, bro. Let me talk about this game. I gotta talk about this game real quick. Incredible game. I didn't watch the entire game, but because I was asleep for a lot of it, but when I woke up, it was the 70th minute, right? I watched it from the 70th minute. Argentina are down 2-0 to Egypt. 79th minute, goal. Goal from Romero. Assist Messi. Messi scores second. Enzo Fernandez scores the third assist. Assist Lautaro Martinez, comeback, Argentina 3-2. Incredible game. This game's the best game for me in the World Cup. And I've said this about so many games in the World Cup, but this World Cup just keeps on giving when it comes to all-time performances, and this one's just one of them. This one's the best game in the World Cup. This one's the best game in the World Cup. Egypt were down 2-0. They were 10, 15 minutes from going through, and then Argentina just made this insane comeback. They locked the hell in after that hydration break. After that hydration break, they locked in and they scored 3 goals. They scored 2 goals in like 4 minutes. I did not know what I was watching. I was even reacting. That was how incredible it was. And you know it's crazy when I'm not even reacting to 1-2 goals, bro. Because I usually react. It's uncommon for me not to react, but I didn't react then because it was incredible. What we're seeing in the World Cup round of 16, Argentina, Egypt, incredible. The mentality, and that's the one thing. That's the one word that I add that like, it's the one word I can say after this game: mentality, bro. Because the mentality to come back from 2 goals, bro, all the way to 3-2, it just shows the insane mentality these guys have. I genuinely believe Argentina have the best mentality out of any team in this World Cup right now. Out of all the teams, I think Argentina has the best mentality. This team knows how to come back, bro, and they just showed it against Egypt. And you can talk about the controversial calls, the Salah foul in the box, the other player getting pushed in the box, but in my opinion, Salah didn't get fouled. Salah just tripped off of somebody else's foot. And then that other guy as well, he didn't get fouled. If anything, that was a light tap. That one was very soft. Same thing with Salah. Salah's was soft too. Salah's was soft as well. Let's be real. Both of those weren't fouls. I was thinking it was a bit controversial at first, but now hearing what other people have to say, now looking back at it, it's not a foul. Let's be real, it's not a foul. It's not. But yeah, I hear Egyptian fans say that it's rigged, saying that it's rigged for Argentina, it's rigged for Messi. They want Messi to go far. They paid the referees. The ref was bribed. All that sorts. I hear fans all around the world say that it's rigged, and I advise you guys, if anybody's watching this video, I advise not to take those people serious, because if you actually watch the game, if you actually rewatch those controversial fouls, you would see that they weren't even fouls in the first place. You would see that they weren't even fouls in the first place. So there's no point in just like talking to these people who think that it's rigged. It's not rigged. It's not rigged. And let me tell you this right now. You remember back in like 2019 where they said it, where will Barcelona be without Lionel Messi? I'm gonna switch that. 2026, where will Argentina be without Lionel Messi? Because Argentina, they have to make 50, 100 statues for this guy, bro. This guy is a living legend. I even said after the game, change the name from Argentina to Lionel Andres Messi, bro. Change it to Lionel Andres Messi, because without this guy, bro, Argentina would be in the mud. Let's be real. Argentina would have never made it out of the group stage. They would have never been Cape Verde. They would have never been Egypt if it wasn't for Messi. Messi, this guy can influence any team, bro. Any team. It could be the most crap team ever, and he could just influence it, bro. And that's why I say with Messi, anything's possible with Argentina. Argentina can go all the way and win the World Cup. Their team can be the worst team in the World Cup, but with Messi, they can make it far. They can win the World Cup. They can make it to the final. They can make it far. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do make it to the final. I wouldn't. Their team's just, because I wouldn't be surprised. It's not like their team's good. But they fight. They fight for this guy. They fight for Messi. And the mentality that these guys have is incredible. And they just have Messi. They just have Lionel Andres Messi, who's the greatest player of all time. It's incredible. But probably score a goal. That's all I have to say about this game. Wait, what did I say? Probably score a goal or two. Maybe another Argentine player scores. But I have something to say about Argentina. I can't just do this video without talking about their game against Cape Verde, bro. Last round. Cape Verde, I did not know you. Too much on Messi. And I won't be surprised if they watch if this Wait,
is
what?
just better than Switzerland.
Oh, I was about to say,
You know?
there's no way I didn't do a prediction for that.
And depending too much
for Switzerland versus Colombia. I was about to say.
So, I don't know. But I think they're going to be Egypt. Switzerland versus Colombia. I think it'll be Colombia. I think Colombia's team is just better than Switzerland's. I think Colombia's team, quality-wise, player-wise, I just think they're better. So
I just said the same thing as I did in another prediction. I think I said that for the same thing that I said for France and Paraguay. I said the same thing for Switzerland and Colombia. Fair enough. I mean, I am right. On paper, Colombia did win. I did watch the game, but I'm not gonna lie. I clocked out after like 5 to 10 minutes because the game was just kind of boring, and I kind of predicted that the game was gonna be boring anyways. Not during this prediction, but like during the game when the game was actually happening, and when I was actually watching it, I knew that this game was gonna be boring, and it was. It went all the way to penalties. Switzerland actually won over Colombia, which I'm honestly a bit surprised about. I did not expect that, but you know, because I generally thought it was gonna be Argentina versus Colombia next round, but it's not. It's Argentina versus Switzerland, but we're gonna predict that in a second. Anyways, we're done with, reacting to my round of 16 predictions. And now let's get on to my quarterfinal predictions. Okay, so now we will be doing our quarterfinal predictions. I'm gonna put a timestamp in the comments. So then, if you guys don't want to watch the first part of the video, me just reacting to the round of 16 predictions and me just making my own thoughts about what I did, then I'll make a timestamp on when you can see the quarterfinal predictions. I'm sorry, the first half was very, very long. I didn't really expect that, but to be honest, maybe I should have, because there was a lot of games in the round of 16, so I had to cover all of them and explain my own thoughts. But now we're in the quarterfinal predictions. And the first game is France versus Morocco, which happens in an hour because right now it's 3:00, and I'm gonna be watching that game. This might be one of the games of the World Cup. This is a rematch of the 2022 World Cup, but instead of the semifinals, this is the quarterfinals. So we're getting this a phase earlier, and I like this game. I think this game will be a really good game. I think this game is going to be a really good game. It's kind of hard to think about who's going to win. But I think let's just make this simple. The video is already long enough. Let's just make this simple. I think it'll be France. The reason why I think it'll be France, I think, and I might be saying the same thing as the round of 16 video, but like, I don't know, bro. Quality-wise, performance-wise, I think they've been the best. I think France has been the best team in the tournament. I think Morocco's been up there, but you could argue at times they're not convincing, and I think France has just been convincing from start to finish. Other than the Paraguay game, but you can't really blame it since, it was Paraguay's intention to, kick the crap out of player. We're not going to talk about that. But I think France versus Morocco, call me crazy, call me bold, but I would not be surprised if Morocco wins. I wouldn't, or actually, okay. I wouldn't be surprised if Morocco made it like a fight. If Morocco made it close. I think this will be a very close game. I don't think the France will blow them. I don't think France will blow them out of the water. I don't. I think this will be a very close game. I do think France will win though, because of their quality, because of their performances, but I do think this will be a very close game. Spain versus Belgium. This is going to be another good game. Belgium just went off from beating USA 4-1. Convincing performance. Spain, they were convincing against Portugal. But let me tell you a stat about Spain. They haven't conceded a goal at all this tournament, and I think let me count all the games because they added an extra round this World Cup. Okay, so we're in the 6th game right now. This is Spain's 6th game against Belgium. That's gonna happen, I think, tomorrow. and they haven't and Spain haven't conceded a goal in this tournament. They haven't conceded a goal, which shows how good their defense has been. Their defense has been the highlight of the tournament. They've been really good. Their defense has been really good. Their attack, there's been phases where they were good, phases that they were not. Midfield, it's all right. They've been all right. They haven't been crazy, but they've been all right. It's really their defense that's like the main like highlight of the tournament for their team, because their defense has been incredible. They haven't scored it, and they haven't conceded any goals. They haven't conceded any goals in 5 games, but the thing with both of these teams is that both of these teams have been very unconvincing. Both of these teams have been very unconvincing. They haven't, performance-wise, both of these teams haven't been up to the level that we expect. Well, okay, Belgium, we don't really expect them to be at a high level. Let's be real. Maybe back in 2018, but not right now. Spain, but we do expect them, though. We do expect Spain to be one of the favorites. And the fact that they haven't been convincing, is crazy. It's crazy. Belgium haven't been convincing either, and that's why I say Spain goes through. Because I think Spain, the fact that, defensively they've been brilliant, I don't think Belgium will break down Spain's defense. Spain's defense has been brilliant. There's a reason why they haven't conceded in 5 games. Incredible. And I just think Spain, I think it'll be another boring game, but I think Spain will just about go through. I think they have the quality to do it. So, yeah. And then, is that all the court? Okay, I was about to say, there's no way. Okay, so we got Norway versus England. This one. Hey, don't get mad at me for this. This might be a bold prediction, but I think Norway's gonna go through. I think Norway will do an upset. I think they'll make another upset. I think their fairy tale run will continue to the semis. I think they'll beat England. I think they'll do a Morocco like they did in 2022, make it all the way to the semis. I think Norway, like, call me crazy, but I think it'll be Norway. I think Norway actually beat England. I think Holland will score again. I think this World Cup is made for Norway to go far. Or not really, since they're facing hard opponents, but let's be real, Brazil haven't been the same, and England as well. You know how England does. They have all this hype just to disappoint. This tournament, they've been really, really good though, but I do think it'll be Norway though. I think Norway have been really good as well, and I think their underdog story will continue, but I think Norway will win. I think they'll make it to the semis, and yeah, not much to say though, Not much to say. I think Norway will go through. So, yeah. Norway versus England. I do think it'll be a close game, but I think Norway will go through. I don't think Norway will just blitz England. I don't think that. I don't see it. Argentina versus Switzerland. And, yeah, Switzerland just about beat Colombia on pens. Argentina just about beat Egypt. Insane comeback. And I think it'll be Argentina. I think Argentina's team is just better than Switzerland's. I think even though Argentina haven't been the most convincing, I think like their willingness to fight for Messi, and honestly, just Messi in general, bro. I just think Messi will just get them through. Messi will probably score a goal or two, have another incredible performance, and then they will go through. Let's be real. It's made for Argentina to go to the final, bro. Let's just be 100% honest right now. It's just made for Argentina to go to, like, the script is made for Argentina to go to the final. Not really saying that there is a script, but it's just made for Argentina to go to the final. Like, this team, bro, like, they can get out of any situation. That's what I know about them. That's what I know about this team. They can get out of any situation, no matter how crazy it is. They can get out of any situation. The mentality that these guys have, bro, and just Messi in general. Messi will get them to the final, bro. Let's be real. And these are what my semifinals is going to be. France versus Spain. That's going to be a good one. Euro 2024. If this actually happens, this is going to be good. This is going to be good semifinals. If this actually happens for the semifinals. France versus Spain could be another all-timer game, possibly. I assume this would be better than the Spain versus Portugal one if we actually did get this. But who knows? But that could be that would be a really good game if we have it. And then Norway versus Argentina, this would be a really good game too. Messi versus Holland, this would be a really good game. So, yep. These are my quarter final predictions. France, Spain, Norway, and Argentina. And this will be the end of the video. 45 minutes. Wow. This might be my longest video. Anyways, um, you know, yeah. I think I'm pretty confident with these quarterfinal predictions. I think I'm pretty confident with these quarterfinal predictions. I could see England maybe going through. And also maybe Morocco as well. Call me crazy, but maybe. But yeah. Anyways, this is FG's Gamer YT signing out. Bye.